Okay, welcome to the first Ideas Found You video of 2021. I've been thinking lately about the Starship construction at Boca Chica. It's a bit of a passion of mine watching the updates there, or the recent flight of SN8. Anyway, Elon has mentioned that he wants to land the super heavy boosters, the 9-yard wide things, accurately from the same spot they take off from. Now this is going to be difficult to within a meter, I suppose. Anyway, they speculated grabbing the boosters mechanically with some sort of arm. I suspect that's what they're thinking of, but I don't reckon physical contact is going to be a good idea. Anyway, to that end, I came up with an idea last night. It takes about 3 seconds to come up with the idea and about 20 minutes to draw the damn thing. Anyway, came up with this idea. I call it the landing alignment system. Let's get that in focus. One prop jam on the other side. Okay, so the way it works is, this is my first idea at the top. I've got everything's in reverse. So we got the landing pad at the bottom. Obviously, the boosters coming down here to land at the landing pad. Perhaps best to use a pen. So the booster's coming down here to land in the pad. Now it needs to be land accurately, very accurately, to be taken off from the same landing, same position basically. So to that end, rather than have a claw or whatever arm to drag it in place so it lands accurately, I think that's a bad idea. So this system I come up with has no physical contacts. Now the first thought was some sort of conical affair surrounding the landing pad in a circular fashion with numerous fans around it. This is a side view. Obviously it's just showing the sides. So when the booster comes to land, it's not centered. That's a bit of an exaggeration, perhaps, hopefully. The fans will blow to center the booster accordingly. So perhaps one side of the fans will blow more than the other side, or all blow at the same rate, as hard as they can, perhaps, to keep it centered. So I thought, yeah, great, that should do it without actually touching the booster upon landing. But then I thought, well, that's going to be, considering the size of the booster, it's going to be a lot of construction, that. So we need to simplify it. So perhaps I thought of 4 at first, 4 towers of airflow surrounding the landing pad, or maybe even magnetic repulsion. So instead of fans, airflow, use sort of electric magnets repulsing the booster. If you can do that with stainless steel, I'm not sure about that. Anyway, but to simplify matters, 4 towers, or 8 maybe, or 3, depending on testing. Big fans at the bottom of the tower, blowing up the hollow tower, with flaps flaps up the tower, 3 flaps perhaps, high, medium and low, depending on testing. So the flaps open as airflow is required, and also flap blowing straight up, which sort of will create a sort of like a bit of a long tail airflow of a race car, straight up however many meters. So when the booster comes down, it's going to encounter this wall and be encouraged to be a bit more centered. So that's it, my landing alignment system. All of 3 seconds to come up with. So I'm sure some other boffin has come up with this, but perhaps we'll I don't like the idea of a physical arm touching the booster to guide it in place, and I don't know if they can land it as accurately within a meter perhaps of the landing pad, unless the accuracy isn't that important on touchdown. And then there's also the landing pad itself. if it's not going to have legs or feet, because that's a weight and expense in construction and cause of failure. So some sort of landing pad development, I'll have to think about that one. Anyway, that's my thought.